hand over his cash at an ATM. Instead, this man put up his dukes and he fought back.
What happens when a male Karen meets his match? Well, you get brutal clampdowns as these entitled bullies are taught a well-needed lesson.
Australia, a bullying victim has become an internet hero after he turned the tables.
So, from public humiliation to a fistful of consequences. Join me as in today's video, I'm going to reveal the dumbest male Karens who messed with the wrong people. Number 1. Taking out the brush. The guy in the white shirt is clearly drunk out of his mind. Believe it or not, the bouncer just dragged him out of the ladies' washroom, but this entitled brat thinks he can get away with anything. The bouncer is gently reminding him not to pull off something stupid again when this male Karen starts talking back. It's easy work after that as the bouncer lifts him in the air and carries him out as he looks like a humiliated man-child. If you ask me, this guy got lucky because that wasn't a bouncer, my friend. He was more like a bear, and if he wanted to humble this male Karen, all it would have taken is just one blow. Number 2. Size doesn't always matter. The guy in the blue thinks he can bully people just because he's bigger than them. Well, I hate to break it to you, but that doesn't always work, and this clip is a prime example of that. When the smaller guy finally starts fighting back, things take a wild turn as this male Karen is humbled in a flash. He's hit in the face with several blows and thrown to the ground numerous times before people finally step in to break it up. This is a reminder for all those wannabe bullies who think they're entitled to pick on people just because of their size. Number 3, don't mess with someone's mom. These two bullies just made the biggest mistake of their lives. They can be seen picking on this old woman when her son shows up from soccer practice and confronts them. He wastes no time and throws a devastating punch at Karen in the grey, knocking him out cold. All the commotion wakes up Big Bro, who storms out and grabs the boy on the ground by the collar, dragging him off their property. He then tells the other bully to bugger off as well and even gives him a warning slap to remind him to never mess with their mother again. Number 4. Mess around and find out. I'm sure most of you know these guys since they're pretty big on social media. In the white, we have Bradley Martin and that stable Ronaldo in the grey. I'm not sure what this entitled little streamer is thinking when he snatches Bradley's hat right off his head. Straight off the bat, you can tell Bradley isn't amused as he firmly tells him to give him his hat back. But when this little brat doesn't listen, Bradley smacks him across the face, resetting his entire personality into a normal human being.
My fucking hat. Damn, actually?
He quickly returns the hat, and the look of humiliation on his face is just priceless. That's what you get when you think real life is also like the internet. Number 5. Badass Grandpa. This elderly man is making a quick trip to the ATM when an entitled Karen shows up to steal his money. But instead of giving in, the old man starts to fight back and actually looks like a pro boxer who dominated back in his time.
He grabs the 77-year-old victim and demands his money.
Anyway, the thief soon realizes this isn't going to be as easy as he thought it would and storms off to prevent things from getting ugly. Oh, and by the way, this dude probably has to be the worst thief in history, considering he tried to rob someone while wearing a high vis. Number 6. Owned by life. Karma is real, and when there's no one around to humble these male Karens for their dumb actions, life often reminds them that it's always watching. This dude is spoiling a reporter's interview by cracking out some moves behind him.
Communicate our client's product at a high level class.
And honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal, because when you think about it, At least this jokester isn't hurting anyone or doing something illegal. But yeah, when he's done with his short but inspiring performance, he runs up the stairs only to slip and fall hard on his face. It's hilarious because that right there is what I call instant karma. Number 7. Cocky Karen gets removed from the plane. If you ever see cops coming towards you while you're in an airplane, it's probably too late for any sort of negotiations. There's not a lot of context, but I'm sure this cocky male Karen was probably being a nuisance to everyone around him. And in the clip, you can see the cops trying to get him to comply so they can take him off the aircraft. But nope, this guy wants things to get worse for him. And that's exactly what happens when the officers are left with no other option but to drag him off the plane. In my humble opinion, he should have either listened to the cops or not acted all crazy in the first place. Number 8. Messing with a pro boxer. There's messing with the wrong person, and then there's messing with the absolute worst person. And these guys got a good taste of the latter after messing with a professional boxer's girlfriend. The dude instantly went brawler mode on them and landed a series of nasty punches, rocking both of these guys in a matter of seconds. It's super satisfying to watch these entitled Karens who think it's okay to pop people in the face, that too women. I'm pretty sure this beating served as a nice lesson for these bullies to never mess with someone's girlfriend again. Number 9. Body slam to another school district. I'm bringing this video back, folks. Most of you have probably seen it, as this little wannabe bully gets slammed to another school district after bullying the wrong guy.
Casey then just body slammed the other boy and sending the other boy, wow.
I mean, sure, at the end of the day, they're just kids, but everyone needs a good reminder every now and then. And who knows, maybe this beating actually helped this kid in not growing up to be a male Karen. Number 10. That's what you get for stealing. Some people never fail to surprise me. I mean, what is this bum even expecting? He's walking out of a store with a crate of beer without paying for it. Of course, he's going to get beaten up by security, and honestly, credit to both of these men for not using excessive force, because one of them had a metal pipe in his hand. Now that could have done some serious damage. Anyway, this bum is finally taken down by security, getting a well-needed lesson that everyone needs to pay. Number 11. That's gotta hurt. This next clip isn't for the faint-hearted, as it shows a robber getting humbled in a painful fashion. These two guys are trying to rob a gold and silver store when the owner launches a counterattack of his own. He smacks one of the robbers with a baseball right on the head, knocking him out cold. His partner starts panicking and attempts to drag him out of the store, but another guy at the door is shoving him in with a chair. He eventually escapes, but he leaves his partner lying there, who gets up and can't even stand up straight after that deadly blow. I mean, sure, getting hit on the head with a baseball bat is dangerous, considering it could do some serious damage. But what else do these male Karens expect when robbing a store? Anyway, some firefighters showed up to apprehend the wobbly robber. Number 12. WWE style. This idiot is holding up an entire store with a knife, getting them to empty the cash register and hand over all the money. But that's clearly not going to happen, since he's messed with the wrong restaurant. One of the staff smacks him with a chair WWE style, rocking him as he falls to the ground. He's then rushed by the rest of the staff, who quickly apprehend him and throw him out of the store. That's what you get, my friend, when your source of income is theft. Number 13. Their biggest mistake ever. I'm going to tell you how you can identify male Karens. Apart from being loud, aggressive, and entitled, they often hang around in groups.
Estas son las imágenes de Nikolai Blasenko, de 29 años, quien después de regresar del baño notó que un grupo de hombres acosaban a su esposa.
And you can see in this video how there's an entire group of them trying to scare off one guy. But unfortunately for them, they've picked the wrong person, as this guy knows how to fight. Two Karens attempt to rush him, but this guy knocks both of them out in a matter of seconds. And it's herd mentality after that, folks. The rest of the Karens are just too afraid to step in and avenge their fallen brothers. Number 14. Don't let anyone disrespect you. In this next clip, we have a Karen who thinks it's okay to disrespect people on the court. He challenges the guy in the black shorts to dunk on him and even messes up his hair in the hopes of belittling him in front of the crowd. But what follows next is so satisfying, as the guy actually ends up throwing a monstrous dunk, putting this disrespectful male Karen in his place. A brawl almost breaks out after the dunk, but thankfully everyone steps in to make sure things don't escalate. Number 15. Too slow. The guy in the white shirt has been trying his level best to intimidate this worker who just won't budge. He's acting all big, swinging his hands around and even trying to get him to flinch. But nothing is working. And I think that was the first sign for this wannabe tough guy Karen to get out of there. But nope. He takes a swing at the worker, but it's clearly too slow as he counters it and throws a nasty punch of his own. It's an instant connection as the big bad wolf is finally humbled and kisses the floor in a matter of seconds. And don't worry, this is nothing but a learning experience for this mean old Karen. Number 16. Benny Mac's humbling. I love it when these entitled internet brats get humbled. This Benny Mac, a streamer who's messed with the wrong guy. They're going back and forth as the random dude in the white shirt grabs Benny's phone and teaches how it's rude to record people without their consent. Benny continues to act cool and makes the biggest mistake of his life as he hits this dude in the face with his mic. Well, what happens after is kind of expected, as the dude knocks Benny out cold with a nasty hook. Number 17. A timely lesson. This rude boy is ruining everyone's day as he's messing about with the King's Guard, calling him all sorts of weird things. The guy recording this video finally calls him out, telling him to stop messing about and ruining everyone's experience. But this kid clearly needs a lesson. He's freaking out, trying to fight everyone all at once. But before he gets a public beating, the cops show up and take him into custody. They cuff him up and drag him away, and I'm sure this video is going to be a nice lesson for the rest of his life. Number 18. Entitled teen taught a lesson. This kid just got fired and he's going around the mall, taking out his frustration on random people. The cops get a call and finally catch up to this fool who thinks he's above the law and can get away with everything. The cops try to cuff him, but this entitled brat takes off. He leads the officers on a chase before losing his footing and getting caught inside a store. Even then, he tries to fight back and starts whining about how all this isn't fair and that they shouldn't use force to arrest him. Nah, well, buddy, maybe you should have just listened instead of making a run for it. Number 19. Karen gets put to sleep. This is another male Karen who thinks he has a license to bully people just because he's bigger than them. The other guy is avoiding an unnecessary confrontation as he tells this dude to leave over and over again. But this entitled fool just won't listen, and that's when this guy is forced to knock him out cold. Believe it or not, this video is actually a classic. The little guy knocks out the big guy. Number 20. Jim Karen gets knocked out. Remember, folks, working out doesn't mean you can fight. And this Jim Karen learns that the hard way after getting knocked out cold by an average-sized guy. Despite getting slapped first, the guy still chooses to walk away and avoid a fight. But when the bully grabs him again, he's met with a beautiful hook that sleeps him in an instant. Number 21. Owned by a girl. Man, imagine how much of a loser you'd have to be to go around picking fights with a girl. And sure, they might be two friends having some fun, but this dude really seems to be kicking her hard. But this male Karen gets schooled so badly after the girl launches an attack of her own and trips him hard, burying his face in the dirt. He looks so embarrassed afterward, and that's what you get when you mess with the wrong person. Number 22. Humbled by a group of teenagers. The man in the red shirt just won't stop making this woman feel uncomfortable. He's following her around and keeps blocking her, and when she finally decides to get off the bus, this dude attempts to follow her. But standing in the way are a group of teenagers who prevent this man from getting out. He tries to power through them, but they hold their ground, and when he gets off the bus, they get off too to make sure he doesn't try pulling off anything dumb. The abuser is eventually forced to run away before getting a beating by these heroic teenagers. Number 23. Tough guy gets put to sleep at a party. I hate it when everybody's having a good time and someone decides to be a tough guy. This dude thinks he can get away with slapping a random person, but he doesn't know that he's about to get clapped. The guy slaps him back, and out of nowhere, he gets knocked out cold by a punch. I'm not sure where it came from. It doesn't seem like the first guy threw it, so it must have been someone from the crowd. Either way, that's what you get when you're being a buzzkill at a party. Number 24. Don't invade anyone's personal space. This male Karen got exactly what he deserved after trying to prank someone by invading their personal space. He starts getting up close and personal with this random dude and even goes in for what looks like a kiss.
Do you want to be my first kiss?
Hey, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
But what follows next is just jaw-dropping. The guy throws a crazy uppercut, and honestly speaking, I'm surprised how this guy is still standing. Number 25. No one is above the law. This guy without a shirt is on drugs, and he keeps on resisting, even though he's clearly in violation of the law. And it's people like this guy who make it very tough on themselves once they're caught. Anyway, he's then politely reminded that he's not above the law after an officer spears him to the ground. Other officers rush and quickly get him in cuffs, giving a reality check that your actions have consequences. Number 26. Getting humbled on the road. Check out this male Karen who thinks it's okay to stop his car whenever he wants and terrorize people on the road. But this time around, he's picked the wrong guy, who happens to be an MMA fighter just waiting for fools to mess around. He gets out of his car and knocks out the first Karen in spectacular fashion as he falls unconscious to the side of the road. The second guy tries to avenge his partner, but he's also schooled, and this MMA fighter soon has him in a chokehold. That's what you get for being an entitled human who thinks they can mess around with anyone. Number 27. Worst decision ever. What happens when a male Karen gets drunk and thinks he can take anyone on? Well, they often wake up in the hospital. The same happened to this guy as he was drunk out of his mind, attempting to mess with a UFC fighter. He gets rocked with an absolutely barbaric hook as he's instantly put to sleep. Number 28. Sipping some coffee. Get a load of this guy. Before chilling in this coffee shop, he was walking around the streets trying to stab people with a knife. And now, when the police are here to humble him, he's sitting all scared, wondering why they're shooting rubber bullets at him. Well, you get what you deserve, man. And maybe you shouldn't have been threatening to stab people with a knife. Either way, watching the cops destroy this male Karen as they put him in cuffs is just amazing. Number 29. Wait till you hear the story. This clip was actually recorded during a live stream, and it shows a group of steamers face to face with a 70-year-old pedophile. Believe it or not, this old man even has a pistol on him as he threatens everyone around him to use it. But that's not happening on this guy's watch, as he knocks the old man out with a monstrous hook. And I know, watching this without context must have been weird since it's an old man getting sucker punched. But when you find out he's a pedo, a good humbling is exactly what he needed. Number 30. It's a prank. And then this guy in the hoodie is a prankster who pretends he's stealing the other person's wallet.
Get your money!
He's instantly dragged to the ground as some bystanders rush in to help, and that's when the real tough guy comes running in and strikes this stupid prankster across the face. He immediately starts yelling how it's a prank, but it's a bit too late since his face is pretty much dripping blood at this point. How about you not attempting to pull off stupid stuff in public? Number 31. The famous Charlie Zelenoff. I think a lot of you are probably familiar with this guy. He's Charlie Zelenoff. He goes around in different gyms challenging people to a light sparring match and sucker punches them before they're even ready. In a way, you could say he's the ultimate male Karen. But in this clip, he finally meets his match, and watching him get a taste of his own medicine is just hilarious. Charlie gets hit with bombs and tries to run away mid-fighting, claiming he's won. Well, buddy, the only thing that you got was humbled by a kid much more skilled than you. Number 32. Another prank gone wrong. I don't know what goes on in their head, to be honest. Sure, it's a prank, but when you're being a jerk to someone, how can you not expect any consequences?
You guys want to kick my ass?
Like this guy over here who started saying weird stuff to these two gentlemen minding their own business. But this is probably the last time this guy pranks anyone, as he gets put to sleep with a deadly blow to the chin and is yelling, "It's a prank," really going to make things all right afterward? That's classic male Karen energy right there. Number 33, Clown Karen gets smacked, dress up as a clown and go scare people in the middle of the night. What could possibly go wrong, right? Well, eventually, you're going to come across someone like this guy who isn't afraid to teach you a lesson. This clown thought he could scare these people, but what he didn't know is that he's about to get smacked with a baseball bat. Number 34. Hit harder next time. This guy really thought he could take down a bouncer twice his size. That right punch was super weak, and the bouncer had absolutely no trouble taking this weasel to the ground and pinning him. I mean, how dumb do you have to be to pick a fight with a bouncer? These guys are literally trained to knock people out. But nope, that's a classic male Karen move right there. Number 35, another one. Watch another dumb male Karen get destroyed by a bouncer. I'm not sure what's going on in his head right now, because there's not one but two bouncers waiting for him to make a mistake. He picks up a pole and tries to chuck it at him, but that's when it's showtime. The bouncer steps in and lands a glorious jab, sending this idiotic Karen flying back. Thankfully, people stepped in to stop things from escalating. Otherwise, this guy was clearly in for a good beating. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. So, what do you think? What was your favorite moment in this video? And have you ever seen a male Karen get humbled in real life? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content in the future.